Hi all, welcome to the greatest basic React.js course. In this video, I am going to teach you how to create three React.js basic websites like to-do app, weather app, and dictionary app. The tools that I have been used in these projects are React.js, Firebase, Auth0, and Material UI. By the end of this video, you will be aware of basic of all these tools. Let's start by hitting the subscribe button. So I have created a new React.js project using create React app and removed all the boilerplate codes or unwanted files. And I have run the code. You can see the project here. Okay. So next I'm going to do is to create a new file that is home.js, a new component. And I am calling this component in the app.js as like this way. Okay, so now you can see that we have created a new component that is home.js and we have called that component in the app.js file. Okay, so next I'm going to install the material UI into our React.js project. So for that I'm going to the material UI website. So here I am going to click on the installation button that we can see here. So then we will be directly redirected to the installation page. So from here, I'm going to copy this command and run that command in a new terminal. Okay, so now the material UI will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so you can see that in the package.json, we have installed the material UI in our project. So next, I'm going to do is, first of all, I am going to use the button component from the material UI. So I'm going to use this button as like this way and giving the button as start free. We have to import the button from material UI as like this way. So you can see that we have used a button. So for the button we have to give this size. I'm giving the size as a medium and the variant we have to give the variant that is I'm giving here contained. So it is as like this way. So now I am going to put that button in the center of the screen. So for that, I'm giving a style in the div also. That means position fixed and left 30 percentage, top 30 percentage. So you can see that it will be now in center, not center. Okay, I'm giving as 45 and 45. Okay, so now you can see that start free is in the center of the screen. Okay, so next I'm going to do is to use two images in the same screen. So for that, I'm going to create an images folder and I'm going to import the images from my system. Uh, then another image is this one. So we have imported the images. So I'm going to use that images Okay, so here the first image in the image tag source, and I'm going to import that images, that is man from images man.png, and I'm going to use that man here as like this way. Then next, I'm going to use the image after the button source. I'm going to import the image, that is exercise from, that is exercise.png. So here I am going to use that exercise as like this way. Now you can see that two images are there. I'm going to change the size of the images, that is styled. Here I am giving the width as 200 px and the height as 300 px. Same to this image also. Okay, so you can see that now. I'm going to just change the position. That is, here I am giving 35. Okay, then here also 35 or 30, maybe proper one. 30 here also, maybe applicable. Yes, I think it is fine. So just 25 will be needed. Okay. So now next I am putting an H to tag as like this way, and I am writing that it's the time to organize your work. Okay. And and improve lifestyle. Okay. Okay. Or organize the work and lifestyle. So next I'm going to change the color, that is style as color gray. So you can see that change the color. Uh, Next I'm giving just a margin left 20 px. Okay, it's fine. Now next I'm going to use the app bar from the material UI. You can see that when we scroll down in the components, there is an app bar. Okay, so you can see that there are several app bars designs, several designs. So I'm going to select a simple nav bar. So this is a simple nav bar. So I'm going to copy this one and to create a new component, that is navbar dot js, and to paste this code that I have copied from the material UI, and I'm changing this name as navbar. Okay. So here you can see that we don't want the menu area, just we need the name. So you can see that I'm going to call that navbar component here. So you can see, yes, here is a navbar. So I'm going to change that name to yes to do. Okay. Okay, yes to do. So now I'm going to uh, give an image tag here, and I'm going to use an image as a logo. So import, I'm going to change this into tick. This image I have imported before. Okay, so tick from images slash tick.png. Okay, so I'm going to use this tick image here as like this way, and I'm giving the size as width 50 px and height 50 px. Then we can look what will happen. Yeah, this one I'm going to reduce the size as 40 and 40. Okay, you can see that here. Again, 30 will be fine. Okay, so I'm also giving an SX tag here. So styles are giving in the material UI elements as SX tag. So in the SX tag, I'm giving margin left as 5px or 10px or 15px. You can see that there will be slight change here. Okay, so we have used a button, that is start free button, and two images, and also nav bar. We have given the name of the app and the logo. So next I'm going to implement the Auth0 sign up. So for that I'm going to the Auth0 uh, website. I'm going to click on the first link. Okay, so we will be redirected to the home page of the Auth0. Here you can see that in the navbar there is an option for sign up. So I'm going to click on the sign up button. So here you can see that there is an option by using, we can sign up by using email or other social network services like GitHub, Google, Microsoft. So I am choosing the Google account for sign up. So I'm clicking this continue with the Google button. So next we will be redirected to the dashboard of this Auth0. Here in the beginning itself, you can see that there is a create application button. So I am going to click on the create application button. Then next we have to give the name of the project. So I am giving the name of the project as yes to do itself, as like this way. Then we have to select the application type. So here there is native single page web applications, regular web applications, machine to machine web applications. So I am going to select the single page web applications. Then next click on create button. So here you can see that this is our project, yes to do. So here we need to select the technology that we are using. So I am going to click on the React menu. Then next we have to select the an option. That means there is an option that is I want to integrate with my app, or I want to explore a sample app. Here we have already created an app, a React.js project. So I'm choosing the I want to integrate with my app section. Here you can see that there are several steps. So first of all, we have to configure the Auth0. So for that, you can see when we move downward, here they are saying that we need to give the give our URL into the application settings into our project. So I'm going to the application settings. Okay, so here you can see that this is the project that created now, yes to do. So I'm going to click on that project, and we will be redirected to the project section. So here you can see that in the settings part, here is the name of the project, domain, client ID, etc., etc., logo. And next, you can see that when we move downward, there is a sections to give the URL of callback and the URL of logout. So I am giving the URL, this localhost URL itself. So I am pasting that in here as like this way, and here also. Okay, so next when we move bottom part, you can see that there is a save changes button. I am going to click on the save changes button. Then you can see that successfully saved your changes. Okay, next I am going to select the quick start section, and here you can see that I am selecting React technology again. Here when we move downward, we have done the configuration part. That is, we have given the URL. Next, when we move downwards, you can see that we need to install Auth0, Auth0 React into our Auth0 React SDK into our React.js project. So for that, I am going to copy that Auth0 and I'm going to run that command in the project as like this way. Now Auth0 will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so now you can see that in the package.json. Here you can see that. Okay, so next. When we move downward again, you can see that we need to import Auth0 provider into our index.js file. So for that, I'm going to copy the same and to paste it in the index.js file as like this way. Okay, so now next we need to uh, use that Auth0 provider component. Here you can see and wrap the app.js into it. So for that, I'm going to use that Auth0 as like this way, and I'm wrapping that app.js component app component into it. Okay, the next we have to give these props, that is domain client ID or the authorization params into the Auth0 provider. So I'm copying that and to give it here directly. So we need to change this domain client ID and we have to give our own domain and client ID that we will get when we move to the application of our application. So here you can see that when we select our application, there will be domain and client ID below the name. That is domain is here. So I'm going to copy that domain and just paste that domain here as like this way. And also I am going to copy the client ID and to paste it here. Okay, so we have copied the domain and client ID from our project and paste it here. Then you can see that this is authorization params, which in which they are given the redirect URL as window.location.origin. Okay, so we have done the index.js part of the Auth0. Next, you can see that when we move downward after this index.js, we need to create a button for giving a function for login. So for that, we have already created a component, that is home component, in which there is a button. So I am giving this function for Auth0 to this start free button. Okay, so whenever the user click on this start free button, it will be directly redirected to the email authentication section. So here itself, I'm going to import. Here you can see that we need to import the or use Auth0 function from Auth0 React. So I'm going to import the use Auth0 from Auth0 React, and I'm going to use a function that is login with redirect. So copying this and paste it directly here. So I have used a function that is login with redirect from the use auth as like this way. The next part we have to do is just directly give this login with redirect into this on click of the login. So copy this on click and I'm pasting it here. So now the login part has completed. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to create another component, sorry, another component that is todo.js, todo.js. So here in this component, in this page, we are going to we are going to add the input button and other areas. So I am going to use an input that is text field from the uh, material UI as like this way. You can see that here is a text field when we goes to the component section. Yeah, here is it. So here you can see that different type of text field are there, outlined field, standard. Just like this way, I am going to use now an outlined text field. So we can give the variant as outlined. So I'm giving as like this way variant outlined, and also I'm giving the size as medium, and also I'm giving a label. So we can see that. So we can see that here there is a tag that is label in which we can give the label as like this way. Okay, so I am giving the label as to do itself. So, I'm giving as task. Okay. So next what I'm going to do is to install the React Router DOM into our React.js project. So for that I'm going to use the npm install React Router DOM library as like this way. So now the React Router DOM library will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so now you can see that when you look the package.json, there is React Router DOM. Okay, so first of all, I am going to the index.js, and here I am going to import browser router. Okay, you can see that here directly. So browser router I have installed, then imported. Then I am going to wrap this app.js into this browser router as like this way. So you can see that I have imported the browser router from the React Router DOM, and I have wrapped this app.js into this browser router. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to the app.js, and I'm going to import the routes and router. First routes and or not router route. Okay, as like this way, and I am giving that routes here as like this way. So we need to give each route here. That is, for example, path as a route for to do. So, and an element that is the component is to do. I'm giving here. Okay. So, and also I am giving the home component as like this way. Route path that is just a slash then element equal to the home component. Okay. So okay. So here I have wrapped this route into routes. Okay. Okay. So now you can see that when we given as slash um, to do, we will be redirected to the this to do page. Here you can see that we have already given a text field with label task. So next we have given the login button. So inside this use author, there will be another thing that we can use, that is authenticated. So this means if the login is uh, if the user is logged in, then is authenticated will be true. Then if the user is logged out, this is authenticated will be false. So this can be used to identify whether a user is logged in or not. So by using that, I am going to arrange the components, or I'm going to redirect to the pages. So next I'm going to create a button again. So here I'm giving the uh, I'm changing the name start free into sign up, and here I am giving the start free. Okay, so here also I am giving the variant, that is contained, and size medium. Okay, so here what is happening such that if I'm giving a condition, that means if the user is logged in, that means if it is authenticated, then we have to show the start free button. Okay, so is authenticated, then we have to give this button. Otherwise, we have to give the button for sign up. Okay, so now you can see that here there are sign up button. That means here now is authenticated is not true, it is false. So I am going to show it to you. I'm going to console that. I'm showing it in the console. Is authenticated. Okay, you can see that here when I take the console, now it is false. Okay, the user is not logged in. Okay, so next I'm going to this auth0 section, and after login, you can see that there is a section. This is the pop-up UI of login. So when we move downward, you can see that there is a section for logout. We have to use a button for logout also. So I'm going to use a button in the to do component. So here I'm giving I'm creating another div, and I'm putting this text field into that div, and I am giving the style to make it at the center of the screen, that is position fixed left 45 percentage and top 45 percentage. Okay, so here you can see that. So this is our to do page. Then I am going to create a button, that means it's like this way, and I'm giving as logout variant as contained itself. So when we look here, you can see that there is a logout button here. Okay, so next I'm going to create another button, that means add button. To add the task, I'm giving contained variant to this button also. Okay, now you can see that there is another button, that is add button. So I am giving the uh, size of that add button to medium itself. I'm converting this text field size into small. Okay, now it is fine. So you can see that there is a task input field, an add button, and a logout. So I'm giving this a margin left to this add button. So ML 10px. Okay, so you can see that there is a margin here. So I am just reducing the left portion. Okay, now it is fine. I think so. And also I am reducing the top because we need to show the tasks, list of tasks there. Okay, here. Okay, next, this is the logout button. I'm going to just dis change the position of logout button also. That means I'm giving the SX as margin left 15px and the margin top as 15px. So okay, so this is the to do page. I think it is looking good. I don't change any color or other things, but it is fine. So next I'm going to use the logout function in the in here. So I'm going to use the logout function as like this way. For that I need to import first use auth function from auth0 React. Then I have to use the const logout equal to use auth as like this way. Okay. So next I'm going to give this logout into the on click of that button. So I'm going to copy directly this one and to copy that. Okay. So we have done the logout section. So we have done the login and logout section. So next I am going to this going to auth0 project yes to do. Here you can see that we are in the settings part. Next after that you can see that there is a connection. So I am going to click on connections. Here I am going to use only Google authentication. So I am going to switch this username password authentication and GitHub authentication. Now Google authentication is only present. So now you can see that I'm going to click on this sign up button. At that time, a pop-up will be arrived. Okay, so here it is showing that Google continue with Google. So when the user click on continue with Google, so here it is showing that access to your profile and email. So I am going to click on the accept button. So here what is happening is such that the authentication has happened. The already a uh, email verification has sent to our email account automatically. Then you can see that the button has changed or switched to sign up to start free. So I'm going to next I'm going to do is I'm going to the project and here in the here is start free button. So I'm going to change this start free button into a link from the React router down, and I am removing this size and variant. And I am going to do is I am going to redirect into the to do page. Okay, so here I am giving the style as I'm removing the text decoration. That means text decoration to none. Okay, so now you can see that here is a start a free button, and I am giving the color as white and background color as green. Sorry, blue. Okay. So now you can see that it's not appealing. So I'm giving some changes there. I'm giving that border radius here. I'm giving border radius. So you can see that I'm giving that 5px. So I have given the border radius as 5px. And also I am giving a padding also. So you can see that I have given a padding that is 5px. Okay. Then I'm going to change the color as well. So I'm taking the HTML color code. Here you can see that there is a lot of color. We can select the color here. So here we can select the color. So I am selecting the color. Okay, here I'm copying this color and to paste it here. Okay, so it will be okay. Now it is more better. So next I'm going to just increases the padding that is to 7px. 7px. So here or 10px, you can see that when I given the padding. Okay, now it is more better. So next I'm going to click on the start free button. At that time you can see that we will be redirected to the to do page. So I'm clicking the start free button. So okay, now we have redirected to do page. The next time I'm going to click on the logout button. At that time we will be redirected to the home page, and also you can see the sign up button here. Okay, so next part is to integrate with the Firebase. So I'm going to the Firebase website. So in the new window I'm going to select the Firebase. Here I'm going to click on the first link. So we will be redirected to this page. Here you can see there is a get started button. I'm going to click on the get started button. So here I'm going to click on the add project button for creating a new project in the Firebase. So after that we need to give the name of the project. So I'm giving as to do app as the name of the project, and I'm going to click on the continue button. So next click on continue again. Then the selected default account for Firebase. Then click on create project again. Okay, so now the new project will be created in our Firebase. So we have to wait for that. Okay, so our new project has been created. So next I'm going to click on continue button. Then we will be redirected to the console of our project. Here you can see that there is iOS, Android and web option. So I am going to click on the web here. Then next we have to register our app. So first of all, we have to give the name of our app. So I am giving as the to do app itself. And here you can see that this section is for Firebase hosting. As of now, I am going to click on the register app button here to register app first. Okay, so I'm using npm. Next step that we have to do is to add the Firebase SDK into our React.js project. So first of all, we have to install the Firebase into our React.js project using this command. I have copied the command and I'm pasting it here. So I have run this command and now the Firebase will be installed into our project. Okay, so Firebase has been installed into our project. So now you can see that in the package.json there is Firebase. Okay, so next what we have to do is here you can see that there is a code snippet. So we have to paste this code snippet into our React.js project. So I'm going to copy this code here and I'm going to create another folder that is Firebase folder. In that folder, I'm going to create a file that is setup.js. Here I am going to paste that code which I have copied from the Firebase document. So First of all, I'm going to remove these whole commands for make it more clear. Okay, so you can see that uh, first of all, there is a Firebase config section. Actually, we don't want to bring any changes to this Firebase config section. Here is API key, auth domain, project ID, API ID, etc. We don't want to bring any changes, so I am going to just minimize that area. So next, you can see that there is an analytics section also. We are don't going to use this analytics in this video in this project, so I am going to remove this analytics section also. So now you can see that they have initialized the Firebase app by importing initialize app from Firebase app. So first of all, the thing that we have to do is to import one thing from Firebase Firestore. So before that, what we have to do is I'm going to the Firebase document, and after this, there is a continue to console button. I'm going to click on continue to console button. Then we will be redirected to our home page of the project to do app. In that, here you can see that in the sidebar there is a build button. So I am going to click on the build button. Then there will be a drop down, that means it contains authentication, app check, Firestore, database, real-time database, extension, storage, etc. So I'm going to select the Firestore database. Next, I'm going to click on the create database button, and you can see that we have to select a two, or there's a two option, that is start in production mode and start in test mode. So I'm going to select the start in production mode and click on next button. Next, we have to select the location. So I'm going to click select the Mumbai as a location and click on enable button. Okay, so now we will be redirected to our database. This is our database. So now what I'm going to do is, in our project, I'm going to take the to-do component. Here, there is a text field and an add button. So, first of all, I'm going to sign up with the Google. Then we will be redirected to this section. Here, we need to click on Start Free. Then we will be redirected to this to-do page. So next, I'm going to add the task into the Firebase database. So for that, I'm going to define a state, that is const task, as like this way. So here uh, in the text field, I am giving the on change. So in the on change button, I am giving that set task e dot target dot value. Okay, I am giving e here. Okay, so now we have given the set task here in the text field. So next, I'm going to define a function and giving it in this on click of this button. So I'm giving as add task for the name of the function add task, and I am going to define that function here, const add task is equal to. Okay, so here we need to use another function from the Firebase, that means add doc. So to or add each document to the Firebase database. So I have imported that add doc from the Firebase Firestore here. Okay, so I'm giving as async await, and also I'm putting it in try catch as like this way. Okay, so next, what you can see that I am going to specify the collection that we need to create. So I'm going to give the reference to that collection. So that is task ref is equal to I'm using a function that is collection, which is imported from the Firebase Firestore. And as a first argument, we need to give the database. So next, what I'm going to do is in the setup file of the Firebase, I'm going to import get Firestore from the Firebase Firestore. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a variable and I'm giving the name of the variable as database, which is equal to get Firestore, and I'm giving this app into this Firestore, get Firestore as an argument. So when we are doing authentication or using this Firestore, what we have to do is we have to give this app variable into this get into this function as like this as an argument. Then we have to export this variable because we need to use that in all other files. So I have exported that database. Then now we can do is we can give that database here as the first arguments. So I have imported that from Firebase setup file. Okay. As a second argument, we have to give the name of the collection. So we have to create a collection here uh, in the uh, Firebase. We can manually create a collection by clicking the collection here, but actually we need to create a collection from here. So I am giving the name of collection as tasks. Okay, this is what we have to give in the task graph. So here I am going to give this task graph as a part argument, first argument into this add doc function. So next we have to give the this task into here as an object. So I'm giving and the same name as task and giving this task into it. Okay, now you can see that we can create a collection here, a collection and a document and the task into this Firebase from our React.js project. So I am going to import. I have to import here it use state. So next you can see that when I use state as not yes, use state imported. So next when I given in task, you can see that it will be stored in our Firebase database. Okay, so I am giving the task as exercise. Okay, and I am going to click on the add button. At that time, you can see that when I refresh the okay, we need to do one thing. That means here in this, you can see that when we go, you can see that here we are in the data section of the database. So here there is a rules section. So we need to click on rules. I'm going to click on rules, and now you can see that allow read write if false. So we need to change that allow read write into true. So for that, I am putting true here, and I am going to click on the publish button. And you can see that there will be a pop-up will arrive as published changes. Okay. Now we can, I'm going to data section. Now we can give the task here directly. So I'm giving the task exercise as like this way and clicking the add button. At that time you can see that when I refresh the Firebase console, yes, the new task collection is added. Then this is the document ID and also there is task that is exercise. Okay, so we have added a task to the Firebase database. Okay, we have used the add doc. So next, what I am going to do is to use the or get the document from the Firebase and show it in the browser. So we have to list that in here. Okay, that is the purpose of to do. So I'm going to use or define another function that means get the task, which is an arrow function. Okay, so in that arrow function, I'm going to use the get docs function as like this way, and I'm giving async await here also. So I'm giving try catch, console dot error. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a task graph, and in that task graph I'm going to use the collection function, and as a first argument I'm going to give the database itself, and as a second argument the name of the collection, that is tasks, and I'm giving this task graph into this getDocs function. So next I'm going to call this getTask function in the user effect as like this way. Okay, that is get task. Okay, sorry, get task. So now you can see that we have get the task. So I am going to assign that into a variable data. So here you can see that I am going to console that data which we get from the Firebase. So here you can see that when I take the console, this is the structure of data, that is query snapshot. Here you can see that it is not in the form that we can use directly. So here this our data is in the docs section. Here you can see that the uh, ID is there. That means this is the same ID that in the ID of our document. So that means this is the section, or this is the area where we have that document. So, but it is not in the form that we can use directly. So we had to convert that into the form which we can use directly. So for that, I am going to define another variable, that is filtered data, in which I am going to use docs.map function, map method. Okay, so this docs is, we have already seen, this is the docs. So this, there is the data. So each doc, in the each doc we need to first spread that doc and to give the data function as like this way, and the next we have to give the that doc.id also as like this way. Okay, so next I'm going to do is to create another state and giving the name as task data, task data. Okay, as like this way. So actually, it is not the string we have given. Give the array, empty array. Okay, so I have given that filtered data into this set task data. So now you can see that when I console the task data, you can see it. Yes, this is the task data. Okay, so here is a task exercise and the ID. That ID is given from here as like this way. Okay, so we can take that task data and show it in the browser. Okay, so for that, below this button area, I am going to use that task data and to map the task there. Um, that is, this is each task. So task. So this is I am giving data dot task. Okay, it will be fine. So I think yes, here comes the exercise. So now I am giving it as a list. I think it will be better. Yes. So you can see that there comes our exercise list. Okay, so I am just putting a style here as uh, margin top, margin top. That means margin top to 30px. So here you can see that it moves downward. So next I'm going to, so we have added the data into the Firebase and we also get the data from the Firebase and show in the browser. So next I'm going to uh, put another task that is reading. And when I click on the add button and refresh the page, you can see that there is exercise and reading also. So now, as of now, when we added any exercise that cooking or any task, it will not reload automatically. So I am going to put a window dot location dot reload manually for reloading it. So now I think it will be okay. So when I click on yes, now it is shown. So when I'm adding another task that is uh, walking and click on add button. Now you can see that yes, it is showing walking here. So it is fine. So we have added the document into our Firebase. You can see that and we have get the document from the Firebase and shown here. So next I'm going to update the document and delete the document. So for that I'm going to use another button. So I'm going to use the button here uh, that is along with the list itself. That means a button. So for each element or each task we need edit and delete button. So I am going to give update and variant as I'm just giving outlined here for the edit and giving the color. When we go to the material UI, you can see that there in the button there are different styles we can give. There is color as success. When we give the color success, it will be green. Okay, so we can give the color and other uh, styles very easily in this material UI. So as like this way, when we go to the React.js project, you can see that it is update as like this way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an on click in this button, and in this button I am giving update task as the function. So I need to uh, define that update task. So I'm defining that update task as like this way. Okay, so here update doc This is I'm giving async await and also try catch, error, console dot error. Okay, so now you can see that we have used the update docker which we have imported from the Firebase Firestore. Then what we have to do next is I'm going to define a variable that is const task doc. Here what we have to do is we have to specify the document that we need to update. So I'm going to use another function that means doc from the which is imported from the Firebase Firestore. So inside that doc, what we have to do is first of all we have to give the database itself as the first argument. The next second argument also we have to give the task name of the task collection. Then next we have to give the ID. So here you can see that there is ID of each document. So we have to specify that ID for identifying the document. So you can see that we have used this update task here. From this here we will get the ID of that each task. So here ID is the data.id. So data.id we have given here and we can take that ID as like this way and to give directly here. Okay, so we have taken that ID there. Then next I'm going to copy this task doc and paste it here. Next, we have to give as a second argument the input value that we are going to give. I'm going to give the same task itself, same input here as like that of add task. So task as like this way. So now you can see that when we move to the page here is the update button. So now I am going to change this exercise into another task. So I am going to shopping. So and I am going to click on the update button. Then you can see that when I refresh the page, it will be now shopping. So we have done the update doc also. Or I am also giving window dot location dot uh, location dot reload here also in the update function. Sorry, not here. Uh, inside. Okay. So here I am going to update the walking as I'm giving it as singing. And when I click on the update button, you can see that it will be changed to singing now. Okay, so we have done three functionalities. That means add document, get the document, and also update the document. So next we are going to do the delete documents. That means in the uh, here along with the update button, we are going to give the another button that means delete button. So here as a delete button and I'm giving the same variant that is outlined as like this way, and we can give color as you can see that in the material UI when we give the color as error it will be red colored. So I am giving the color as error here. So you can see that there will be another button for delete. Here it is. So next what we have to do is we need to give the on click and we have to pass the function into that on click. So I'm going to pass the function that delete task. Here also we need to get the or give the ID as the argument. So I'm giving the data.id. So we need to get the to identify that document. So next I'm going to define the function that means const delete task as like this way, and in the delete task I'm going to use another function from the Firebase, that is delete doc. Okay, we have imported the delete doc from the Firebase Firestore. So I'm going to write async await as like this way, and I'm also giving the try. So here I'm going to console the error as like this way. So next I'm going to give this into this try. Okay, so we have done the delete task. So next what I'm going to do is I am going to define a variable, that means task doc, as the name of the variable, and in that task doc I am using the doc function which I have already imported from the Firebase Firestore. And if, as a first argument I am going to give the database, and as a second argument I'm going to give the name of the collection, that is tasks. Okay, then as a third argument we have to give the ID. So I have already passed that ID as an argument as like this way. Sorry, ID. Okay, so we have uh, uh, we have defined the variable. Next, I'm going to copy that variable into this delete doc function. Okay, so you can see that I'm going to click on the delete button. At that time, this hopefully this shopping will be removed. So as of now, we have to refresh the page. The shopping has removed. I'm going to put look window dot location dot reload here also. Then you can see that when I click on the delete button, the reading will be disappeared. Okay, we can delete each of the tasks as like this way. So we have added the task, and we have shown the task in the browser, and we have updated the and deleted the task. So just as a UI purpose, I am going to give the size as small for the update and delete button. I think it will be more better. Okay, visually better is that I'm going to giving another task. I'm going to delete this task. Then I'm giving the task as okay. We have done the uh, add document, delete document, update document, and read document. I have created a new React.js project using create React app, and I have removed all the boilerplate code or unwanted files. And after that, I have run the code. You can see the project here. So next, I'm going to create a new component, that is home.js. Okay, it's like this way. So next I'm going to call that component in the app.js. So now you can see here. Okay. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to install Material UI into our React.js project. Material UI website. So I'm going to click on the installation button that you can see here. So we will be redirected to the installation page of the Material UI. In the beginning itself, you can see that we have to run this command in our React.js project to install the Material UI into our project. So I'm taking a new terminal and I'm going to run this command. So now the Material UI will be installed into our React.js project. So we have to wait for that.
So we have installed material UI into our React.js project. You can see it in package.json. Okay, so next I'm going to do is I'm going to use a button from material UI as like this way. So you can see that here in the sidebar of this material UI, there is a component section. So here there is a button. So you can see different type, that is text, contained, outlined, disabled, etc. So here from here I am going to select this contained button. So for that we have to give the variant as contained. Okay, so I'm going to give the variant here as like this way to contain. Okay, so now you can see that here is a button. So I'm giving the name of the button as sign up. Okay, fine. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to put that button at the center of this screen. So I'm giving a style as position, and left as 45, top as 45%. Okay, so now you can see that here the sign up button is at the center of the screen. So next I'm going to do is to change the background color of the button. So for that I'm giving an SX tag. You can see that in the uh, element of the material UI we can give SS tag instead of style. We can give style also. But when we are giving SS tag we can give the background color as like this way. So also there are many other differences. Then now you can see that it is changed as like this way. It is much better. So next I'm going to give the background color for this app .js component. So for that I'm giving a style. Okay, so now I am going to give a height to this app.js component as 100 vh. So now you can see that we have given the background colors right, as like this way. The next I'm going to do is I'm going to use an app bar from the material UI here from the sidebar itself. You can see that there is an app bar in the component. So here they are providing different app bars as like this way. I'm going to use a simple design. So here this is one of the simple design in this app bar. So I'm going to copy this code completely and to paste it in the uh, new component, that is navbar. So and I'm changing the name as navbar as like this way. So now I'm going to call use that component in this uh, app.js. Okay, so now you can see that there is a navbar. It is showing that an error on menu. So in the navbar you can see that we don't want this menu section, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, now you can see that there is an app bar in our project. Okay, so I'm going to change the name of this app bar as, or our website. I'm giving the name of the website as S2 dictionary, and also I am removing this variant. So when I give the name H2 dictionary, you can see it here. I'm going to remove that variant, then it will be much reduced the size. Okay, it is fine now. Then I'm removing this also, and here I am giving the color of that um app bar as S6 equal to same color of this home component. So same color of this app component. So I'm going to copy this color and paste it here as like this way. So now you can see that the color of the navbar, sorry, not that color, a background color. Okay, now the background color of the navbar is also changed. Okay, it's fine. Then I'm going to give another tag, that is elevation as 0. When I give the elevation as 0, that box shadow will be disappeared. Okay, so next I'm going to give in the home component, I'm going to give an h2 tag, and I'm giving as let's start to explore. Okay, so uh, we can see that is here. So I am giving er tag here like this way. So you can see let's start explore. I'm giving a br tag here also. Yeah, I think it's much better. So I'm reducing the top as like this way. Then it will be yeah, it will be it is now at the center. So we have used a button for sign up, and also we have used the nav bar, and we have given the name of the website, that is yes to dictionary. Then we have given a text, that is let's start to explore. The next I'm going to create another component, that is dictionary. So I'm giving as dictionary.js, and inside this component I'm going to do is I'm going to use an text field from the material UI as like this way, and I'm giving a variant as outlined. So as like that of button, you can see that in the material UI there is a section for text field also. So in the text field you can see a different text fields are showing, that is outlined, filled, standard, etc. So I'm going to select this outlined text field. So I have given the variant as outlined, and also I'm giving a label that is equal to word. Okay, next I'm going to do is I'm going to install uh, React router DOM as like this way. So now React router DOM will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so now you can see that in the package.json, React router DOM is installed. So first of all, I'm going to the index.js, and I'm going to import as browser router like this way, and I'm going to wrap the app component in this browser router. So the app component inside this browser router. Next, I'm going to the app.js, and I'm going to import routes and route as like that of this, and I'm going to wrap the all the routes inside this routes component. So as route, I'm giving the URL as this for home component. Okay, then another route, that is I'm giving the URL as dictionary, and I'm using that or importing that dictionary component here. Okay, so I'm removing this home component. So now you can see that when I have given the URL as dictionary, okay, you can see that there is a component. So we have already created, sorry, if there is a text field, we have already created that text field in this dictionary component. Okay, so this is how it looks like. The next I'm going to create another button in this component, that means button for getting the meaning of the word. So, and also I am giving a variant as contained. Okay, next I'm going to give the sx tag, and I'm going to give the color, that means background color, as black. So now you can see that we have used a button also. Then next I'm going to change the size of this as small. Okay, now it is looking more better. So I'm going to give a padding to this home component, oh sorry, dictionary component, as like style padding px. So now you can see that it's much better, and I am going to uh, put a margin left as like this way. Okay, so here you can see that it is much better now. So next I'm going to give an input, background color to this input. So bg color to white to this text field. So now you can see that and also border radius 10 px. Okay, so next I am going to the home component here, as like this. So in the home component, we can see that there is a sign up button. So we have to give the sign up functionality. So for that, I am going to use the Firebase. So I am going to the Firebase website. So here you can see that this is a Firebase website. So I am going to click on this link, and we will be redirected to a page. You can see that there is a get started button. So I'm going to click on this get started, and we will be redirected to here. From here we can see that we can add a project in the Firebase. I'm going to click on this button, and then next step we will be redirected. So next step, we have to give the name of the website. I'm giving the name of the website for our project as here, the name of the project we are giving. So I'm giving the name of the project as a dictionary app, and next I'm going to click on the continue button. After that, so next we have to click on the continue button. So before that, I am going to disable this analytics section. Then you can see that it is now create project. So I'm going to click on the create project button. So now our new Firebase project will be created. We have to wait for that. Okay, now you can see that our new Firebase project is created. That is dictionary app. So next I'm going to click on the continue button. Then we can see that this is the console of our project dictionary app. Then here you can see that there is an option for iOS, option for Android, and option for web. I'm going to click on this web option. The next, as a first step that we have to do is to register our app. So I'm giving the name of our app as dictionary app itself. Okay. Then next I'm going to register app. I'm going to click on the register app button. So now the app will be registered, and as a second step, we have to do is to add the Firebase SDK into our React.js project. So as I'm using the npm, I'm going to copy this npm install Firebase, and I'm going to install Firebase into our React.js project. So npm install Firebase as like this. So now you can see that the Firebase will be installed into our project. Okay, so now the Firebase has been installed into our project. So here you can see that in the package.json there is Firebase. Okay, so next when we go to the document section here, after this installation of Firebase, you can see that there is a code snippet. So what we have to do is to copy this code snippet and to paste it in a file. So I'm going to create a new folder, that means Firebase, and I'm creating a file named setup.js, and here I'm going to paste that code, and I'm going to remove those commands to make it for more clear. Okay, so here you can see that there is a Firebase config which contains API key or the main project ID and app ID. So we don't want to do, or we don't want to bring any changes in this Firebase config. So I'm going to make it minimize it. So here you can see that they have initialized the app by using by importing the initialized app from Firebase app. So the first thing that we have to do is to import one thing from Firebase auth like this way. Okay, so when we move to the document, you can see that we have used this code snippet. After that, I'm going to click on the continue to console button, and then you can see that in the console sidebar there is a build button. So next I'm going to click on this build button. Then in the drop down, you can see that there is authentication, Firestore, database, real-time database, extension, storage, hosting functions, etc. So from here, I am going to click on this authentication button. Next, I am going to click on the get started button. So here you can see that there is native providers and additional providers for the authentication. So as native providers, there is email, password, phone, anonymous, etc. And additional providers are Google, Facebook, GitHub, Microsoft, etc. So in this project, I'm going to use the Google authentication. So I'm going to click on this Google button. So next, I'm going to enable this Google authentication, and I'm going to select my Gmail account. So next I'm going to click on save button. So Google authentication is enabled. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to import get auth from Firebase auth, and I'm going to define a variable as auth is equal to get auth, and giving this app variable into get auth as a argument. So when we are using the authentication or any Firestore database, we have to do is to give this app inside this function that we have imported as an argument, as like this way. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export this auth. Then next I have to import one thing also, that means Google auth provider. Okay, so we have to import two things when we are doing the Google authentication. One is get auth and next is Google auth provider. So next I'm going to define const Google auth provider equal to new Google auth provider. So this is a way of defining this variable, and next I am going to export that. We have to use these two variables in other files. Okay, so now you can see that we have done the setup section of Firebase. So next I am going to the home component. Here what I want to do is I want to define a function for sign up. So sign up is equal to, so next we have to import a function from Firebase auth, and that is
sign up with the pop-up. Okay, so this is the function we are going to use here. So I'm going to paste this function here as like this way. So now I'm giving async await and a try catch. Okay, so next what we have to do is we have to give the auth inside this uh, which is imported from import auth. So we have already defined in the setup of the Firebase. You can see that we have already defined a variable. So next we have to do is to import that auth here as like this way from the Firebase setup file, and we need to pass that auth into this sign in with the pop function as like this way. Okay, so next I'm going to use this sign up in the on click of the button. Okay, so now uh, so when we click this sign up button, a pop-up will be arrives. So I'm going to click on the sign up button. So now you can see that. So I'm taking the console. Okay, typer cannot be pop-up, so constructor. So we have to give the Google Auth provider also along with this here. So Google Auth provider and auth are the variables that we have already defined in the setup file. So we have to give that two variable into this sign in with the pop-up function. So now you can see that I'm going to click on this sign up button. So when I click on the sign up button, you can see that a pop-up will be arrived. Here we need to select the uh, email or Google account. Okay, so now the user is signed in. So for knowing that, we can assign it to the data as like this way. So here I'm going to console the data. Okay, so when I click the sign up button, you can see that this data will be in the console. So yes, this is that data which we have get after we signed up. So here you can see that there is the details of the user, that is email ID, display name, etc. So from here we can understand that the user is logged in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a state as const sign up set sign up it as false. So not sign up. I'm giving it as user. So okay. Okay. The next after when there is data, when data is available, then I am converting it to changing the state as set user to true. Okay. So now when the user is true, here I'm going to create another button. That means here I'm giving the name of that button as search meaning. So and I'm giving a function in the on click. So I'm giving the name of that function as search, and I'm giving the variant as contained And also I'm giving a color, background color as S in the SS tag, that is BG color, which is FCE181. FCE181. Okay, so now you can see that here search is not defined. Okay, so next I'm going to define that function const search, which is an arrow function in which I'm going to navigate the into dictionary component. So for that I'm going to import use navigate from React router DOM. So I'm going to assign that use navigate into this variable as like this way. Okay, I have imported that from React router DOM and assigned it to navigate, and here I'm going to navigate into dictionary component. Okay, so now you can see that yeah, there is a search meaning button also, uh, but we have to give it conditionally. So that means here when the user state is true, then we have to show the search meaning button as like this way. Otherwise, okay, so now you can see that I have conditionally given the button. So when we here now it is showing a sign up. So when I click the sign up button, it is changed to search meaning button. I am giving the back color of it as black. Okay, yes. So when I click this search meaning button, we will be redirected to this dictionary component. So I am clicking this search meaning button. So we have redirected to the dictionary component. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to use the logout button or logout function from the Firebase, so our website. So for that I'm giving the logout in the navbar itself. So in the navbar I am going to define a function that is logout, an arrow function in which I am going to pass another function that is sign out from Firebase auth. As like this way, I have imported the sign out from the Firebase auth. So next I'm going to give async await and try catch console.error as like this way and await sign out here. Next I'm going to use this logout functionality in the in a button. So I'm going to create a button here, and I'm giving name of this button as logout, and I am giving the functionality into the on click of that button. So here in the on click of that button, I'm going to give the functionality that is sign out. Sorry, logout. Okay. Now I need to pass the auth, which I have already defined in the setup file of the Firebase here. Okay, so now you can see that there is a logout button, and I'm going to change the color of this button as background color to white and color to black, and giving size as small. Okay, so now you can see that this is the logout button, and I'm giving a margin to that button, margin left. Okay, so this is the logout button. It's looking good. So next I'm going to give a conditions for showing that logout button. So I'm giving as if auth dot current user is present, then only we need to show that logout button. Okay. So now the current user is available. So now it is showing logout button. So next I am going to click on that logout button. At that time you can see that the current user will be logged out. So after logout, we should be redirected to the home page. So I am giving as navigate to home page as like this way. Const navigate is equal to use navigate. Okay, I have imported from React Router DOM. So next I am going to click on this logout button. At that time you can see that we will be redirected to this sign up page. Sorry, this home page. Okay, so when I'm clicking sign up, the user will be logged in, and now the button is changed to search meaning. Then when I click on the search meaning button, we will be redirected to this uh, component. Okay, there you can see a logout button, a text field, and a meaning button. So next I'm going to use the uh, dictionary API. So you can see that here I'm going to use the dictionary API. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this website link. This link here you can see the logo here of the dictionary. So I'm going to click on this link here. This is the URL that we are going to. This is API that we are going to use. So I'm going to copy that, and in the dictionary component, I'm going to define a function that is get meaning as an arrow function. So, and I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fetch operation, and inside the fetch, I'm going to give the URL as like this way. So you can see that here is the word. So I'm going to give a word and change this to. Okay, so now we have to give a word here. So for that, I'm going to define a state. Okay, so in the text field, I'm going to change the. I'm giving the word, that means e.target.value. Okay, so then we will get the response here. Dot then I'm converting that response into JSON format. Dot then that JSON formatted response, and I'm going to console that. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function when I click that button. So in this on click of this meaning button, I'm going to pass that function or call that function, that is get meaning. Okay, so next I'm going to click on the button. So here you can see that I'm going to take the console, and when I click the button, after giving a word, you can see that in the console, this is the structure of our response. Okay, so here this is the structure of the response. Here you can see that we have to map. This is an array, so we have to map through that array. So I am going to do mapping, that is JSON.map. Then here we will get each data. Then I am going to log that data and show it to you as. So next I am going to click the meaning button again. You can see that this is the data. So here you can see that there is different things, that is license, meanings, phonetics, source URLs, etc. So from this we have to select these meanings. It contains the definitions and etc. So I'm going to click on I'm going to select the data dot meanings as like this way. So here you can see that when I click the meaning button, this is the meaning. It is also an array. So we have to loop through that meaning also. Data dot meanings dot map. Here we will get each element. I'm going to log that. Okay, so you can see that here I'm going to click on the meaning button again. So you can see that this is the uh, element. That means each element. That means data dot meanings. So here you can see that there is definitions, synonyms, antonyms, etc. So I am going to, we have to select this definition. It is also another array. So I'm selecting this element dot definitions. At that time you can see that I'm clicking the meaning button again. You can see that the definitions are here. This is the definitions. So from this definition, I'm going to select this definition and example. So this is also an array. So this is an array. So from this array need to be iterated. So definitions dot map. I'm going to console again. So we will get each element. So I'm going to console the each uh, data. So I'm going to click on the meaning button again. So now you can see that yes, this is the definition and the example. Okay, so I'm going to use this definition and example. So for that, I'm going to define a state, that is const. I'm giving it as meaning, and set meaning is equal to use state empty string. So in the set meaning, I am going to give each dot meaning. Okay, sorry, not meaning, definition. Okay, definition. Then in set dot set next I'm going to, okay, so next I'm going to define another state, that is example. So const example set example use state. Okay, so here I am going to give the set example as like this way, and I'm going to pass each dot example. Okay, now you can see that I am going to log example and definition here. That is example and meaning state. So meaning and console.log example. Okay, so you can see that when I click the meaning, so I'm giving a word here and I'm going to click on the meaning button. At that time, you can see that they are showing the definition and also the example. Okay, so next I'm going to use that meaning and example state here for showing it in the browser. So I'm going to create a div again below the button. Okay, so in this div, I am going to give h2 tag, and in the h2 tag, I am going to give that is meaning and also example. So okay, so you can see that here it is showing the this is the meaning and this is the example. So I'm going to give as meaning and example as like this way. Okay, so now you can see that this is a meaning and this is example. So next I'm going to give this in span. So I can change the color of the result. So style, color. Okay, I'm giving another color. That means I'm selecting the color from the HTML color codes. Okay, so now you can see that I'm going to select a color from a particular color from the HTML color code. Here I'm going to use a color which is okay. So I'm trying this color. Okay, I think it is not good. So this may be good. Yes, this is better now. Okay, so now I'm giving span to example also as like this way. So now you can see that. Yeah. So next I'm going to do is giving conditions. That means if the meaning is there, meaning, then we have to show this. Otherwise, we have to show that is no records. Okay, as like this way. Okay, so next here also I have to give it conditionally example. If example is there, then if example is not there, then I'm going to give the no records here also. Okay, so now you can see that so when I refresh, you can see that there is no records. Okay, so just I'm going to change the background of the dictionary component. I'm giving as DEF2 F1 to this dictionary component. So this is a dictionary component, and here I'm giving a background color as DEF2 and F1. F2, F1 as like this way. So now you can see that. So this is a background and I'm going to change the height of the background as 100 VH. Okay, so yeah, this is done. So I have shown the meaning and example in the browser now. So next I'm going to show the synonyms and antonyms. So when we take the console, you can see that I'm going to console this JSON one more time. So then you can see that here. So here I'm going to give another word as think. So I'm giving. So here you can see that this is the meaning is there, and here is antonyms and synonyms. So we have to select the antonyms and synonyms from these meanings. So we have get the meanings here and we have a map through that. So this is that element. Then we have taken the element dot definitions for the for getting meaning and example. So before that there is antonyms and synonyms. So we have to take that too. So that means element dot console dot log element dot synonyms and as like that antonyms. Okay, so now you can see that I'm giving another name that is rich, and you can see that when I click the meaning button, so this is the uh, synonyms and this is the antonyms opposite. Okay, so this is array, so we need to map through that also. So I'm going to map through the element dot synonyms and element dot antonyms. So map, I'm giving syn for each element, and I'm going to define another state that is syn or synonyms, comma set synonyms. Okay, which is equal to use state and const antonyms set, which is equal to use state. Okay, so here we have defined two state that is synonyms and antonyms, and we have mapped through this element, see element dot synonyms, and I am giving that each into this state that is syn. Okay, so also I am going to map through element dot antonyms. Okay, here set antonyms as each element that is a. I'm giving ant here. I'm removing this console. So now I'm going to give the console for synonyms and antonyms state. So you can see that in the console. Okay, so I'm going to click on the meaning button again. So you can see that now when I click meaning button, you can see that this is so now I'm giving another name that means run. and I'm clicking on the meaning button. Yes, you can see that here we get the anonyms and the synonyms. Okay, so next I'm going to use that as like that of meaning and example. So I'm going to copy this same and paste it here. It's like this way. So here I am going to use the SY synonym state and antonyms. Okay, then I'm going to give here like this way. Okay, as same as like that of synonyms. Then next you can see that here, yeah, this is we have to change the name here also. So okay, so here you can see that the meaning, example, synonyms, and antonyms are shown in the browser. So we have done that. So I'm going to just give a style that is uh, border radius as 15 px, just like this way. So now you can see that. Sorry, I'm going to give a border also. That means border of 1 px solid, and also I'm giving margin top as 20 px. Then now you can see that. Okay, this is the structure of the result, padding as 20 px. Okay, so I think it is fine. Uh, Looking not bad. So I am just going to the home page. Here you can see that we have a sign up button. So I am going to click on the sign up button. Then we will be the user will be signed in, and the search meaning button is arrived, or the button is changed to search meaning. And I am going to click on search meaning. Then you can see that here it is a dictionary component, and here is logout button and also logout button also. So next I am going to click on the run button. You can see that when I click sorry, next I have given the run to the input, and I click the meaning button. Then you can see that it is showing meaning, examples, synonyms, and antonyms in this browser. So this is the dictionary website that we have created. So next I'm going to do is to host this website. So for that I'm going to the Firebase. Here I'm going to the sidebar. You can see that there is build options. So I'm going to click on the build button. Then you can see that there is authentication, ad check, firestore, etc. And also here is hosting. So I'm going to click on hosting. Next I'm going to click on get started. So the first step that we have to do in hosting is to install the Firebase CLI. So I'm going to copy this npm install Firebase tools and to run that in the project. So now the Firebase CLI will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so the Firebase CLI has been installed into our project. So we can see that in the documents. Next we have to do, I'm going to click on the next button. After that, we have to initialize our project. So for that, I'm going to run this code, that is Firebase login in our project. So we have already logged in into our Firebase account. So we can see that. So I can see that I have it is showing my uh, Gmail account. So next I'm going to do is to initiate our project. So before that, I want to run the build. So for that, I'm running this npm run build command. So now it will run the build of our project. So now the production build will be created. So after that, we have to do is to initiate our project. So that for that, I am going to run this Firebase init command. So I have copied that, and in a new terminal, I am going to run the command as like this way. So now some questions will be asked as you can see that. So are you ready to proceed? So I'm giving yes. So I press the Y and click enter. The next you can see that from this list we have to select. So here you can see that real-time database, Firestore, functions, hosting, configure files for Firebase, and optionally set up GitHub Action Deploys, hosting setup GitHub Action Deploys, like that. So here from here I am going to select this hosting, configure files for Firebase hosting, and optionally set up GitHub Action Deploys. So for that I am pressing the space bar and I am clicking enter. So now you can see that from this, here is a list containing use an existing project, create a new project, add Firebase to an existing Google Cloud project, platform project, etc. So from this, I am going to select this use an existing project. So we have already created a project. So I click enter. So now we have to select a project that we have created in our Firebase website. So you can see that here there is a two dictionary app. So when I move to Firebase, you can see that here they are showing dictionary app is D66DE. So D66DE. So this is our project. So I'm going to select that by clicking enter. So now they are asking uh, which want to be the public directory. So I am giving as build and clicking enter. The next rewrite all the URLs to index.html. I am clicking no. Then GitHub deploy no. And next build index.html already exists overwrite no. So at last Firebase initialization is complete. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the next button, and at last we have to do is deploy to Firebase hosting. So for that we have to run this command, that is Firebase deploy. So I have copied that command and I have run this command in our project. So now you can see that the deploying is taking place. So our project is deployed. You can see that this is the URL of our project. So I'm going to our project. I'm going to open the project in the browser. So you can see that yes, this is our project which have deployed. You can see the URL here. So I'm going to click on the sign up button. So we have logged in, and you can see that the sign up button is changed to search meaning. So I am going to click on search meaning button. Then we will be redirected to our dictionary component. Here I am giving a word and I am clicking the meaning button. Then you can see the meaning, examples, synonyms, antonyms here. So okay, so this is the dictionary button. So we have created a dictionary, a simple dictionary button, and also we have hosted for free. So I think it is very clear. So I have created a new React.js project using create React app and removed all the boilerplate codes or unwanted files. Then I have run the code. You can see the project here. So next I am going to install Material UI into our project. So for that, I'm taking the Material UI. Then we will be redirected to this page in which you can see. So here I am going to click on the installation button in the new terminal of our React.js project. So now the Material UI will be installed into a React.js project. So now you can see that the Material UI is installed into our React.js project. So here you can see that in the package.json. Okay. So next I'm going to create a component in the components folder. So here in the components folder, I'm going to create a component named home.js, and I'm going to call that component in the app component, app.js. Okay. So now in the home component, I'm going to create a button which is imported from the material UI. Okay. So I am giving the button some style, that is, you can see that in the material UI, in the component section, there is button. So in here, you can see that there is a lot of different variety of buttons. That's like this way. So here, I am going to select this button. So for that, we have to give the variant as contained. So I am giving the variant as contained. So now you can see that here there is button. So I am going to give the name of the button as sign up. Okay. So this is the button. So next I am going to put that button in the center of the screen. So for that, I am giving the style as position fixed and left 45 percentage and top 45 percentage. So now you can see that the button is in the center of the screen. Okay. So next what I am going to do is I am going to use an image, a folder named images, and I am going to import. So here you can see that we can sign up into this Auth0 by using our email ID or by using other social network services like GitHub, Google, Microsoft, etc. So I am going to select the Google. So I have clicked on continue with the Google button. An image which is weather app. Okay. So here I am going to change the name of this as weather.png, and I am going to use this image here. So for that, I'm going to import this weather image from images slash weather. Okay. So for that, I'm going to use the image tag as like this way. Then in the source of the image tag, I'm going to give as weather. So now you can see that there is the image. Okay. Now I'm going to give some style. I'm going to reduces the width and height. So width to 50 percentage, 50 px, and the height to a 50 px. So here you can see that yeah, this is the image. Then I'm going to give margin left. So margin left at as 40 px. So now, sorry, putting this button in the downside. Okay. So now when I remove that, okay, we have to give the margin, but I am reducing it to 20 px. Okay, now it is fine. I think it is not, it is good. So next, I'm going to use the navbar from the material UI. So in the sidebar, you can see that there is a navbar, app bar. So here material UI is giving a different variety of designs of navbar. So I am going to select a simple navbar. This is one of the simple navbar. So I'm going to copy this complete code, which you can see here, and I'm going to create a new file. that is navbar. So in this file, I'm going to paste that complete code and I'm changing the name as navbar. Okay. So next I'm going to import that navbar here. Sorry, I am going to call that navbar in the app component. Now you can see that. So they are saying that there is a menu in this navbar. Actually, we don't need that menu. So I am going to remove that part. So here you can see that. Okay, there is a navbar. So I'm going to change the name of the app. That is, I'm giving as yes to weather. Okay. Next, I'm going to use another image from my system, that is sun. So as like that of a logo. So for that, I'm going to this navbar and I'm using the image tag. Here I am giving the source image as sun, which I'm going to import from the images folder. So import sun from, okay, images slash sun. Okay, now you can see that there is the sun, but we have to reduces the width and height. So I'm giving the width as 30 px and height as 30 px. Okay, so now you can see that yeah, it is fine. So just I'm reducing the size into 25 px and giving a margin left to this typography. So for that I'm giving the SX tag. So in the material UI, the elements have an SX tag rather than style. We can give style tag also here. I'm just giving SX tag and here I am giving the style as margin left to 10 px. So here in the SS tag, we don't want to give margin left completely, just to give the MLA as like this way. So you can see that there is a gap between the logo and the name of the website. So okay, the first part of the website or the first page is completed. We have used a button from the material UI and we have given the sign up, that is a sign up button we have created. Then we have imported an image from the local device. Then next a navbar from material UI and give the name of the website and the logo. Okay, next part of this website is to uh,
Next, I'm going to
give
click on the first
authentication. So I'm
link
going to use
in
the
website,
Auth0
and here you can see
for the
that I'm going
authentication.
to
So I am
sign up.
going to the
So in
Auth0
the
website.
navbar section, you can see that there is an option for sign up. So I'm going to click on the sign up button.
So after that, we will be redirected to this page. Here you can see that at the beginning itself, there is a button that is create application. So I am going to click on the create application button. So here, first of all, we need to give the name of the app. So I am giving the name of the app as weather app. And just next we have to select the type of the application. So here is native, single page web applications, regular web applications, machine to machine web applications, machine to machine applications. So I am going to select the single page web applications and to click on the create button.
So next, we have to select the
So next we
technology
can see
that we are
that
using in our project. So
in the
we
quick
are using the
starter
React.js.
section of our weather app, then next you can see that here we have two option. That is, one is I want to integrate with my app and I want to explore a sample app. So we have already created our app. So I'm going to follow these steps. So first of all, we have to configure the auth0. So you can see that when we move downward, there is configure logout URL, configure callback URL, etc. So I'm going to this application settings. Okay, here you can see that They are saying that we have to give the uh, give our URL into the allowed logout and allowed callback URL section of our app. So in this application settings, you can see that here is our app. I am going to select the app that we created now. That is weather app. So in this weather app, you can see that there is a name of the app, and below that, there is when we move downward, you can see that there is allowed callback URL and allowed logout URL. So we have to give our URL to this column. So here you can see that I am going to copy this URL, that localhost, and paste it in the logout URL and callback URL as like this way. So after that, I'm going to the bottom part of the our website, and you can our project, and you can see that there is Save Changes button. I'm going to click on the Save Changes button. Okay, so you can see that successfully saved your changes. So now I'm going to the part that means the steps that we have to do. First of all, we have configured the auth0. That is, we have pasted our URL into the logout URL and a callback allowed URLs. So next, when we move downward, you can see that there is another step, that is install the auth0 read SDK. So for that, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this and copy this, that is npm install auth0 react command, and to paste it in our new terminal of the project. Okay, so I'm going to run that command. Now the auth0 SDK will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so now you can see that when we move the package.json, you can see that there is auth0 React, which has been installed now. Okay, so now when we after that when we move downward, you can see that we have to do one thing in the index.js file. So in that index.js file, you can see that we have imported the auth0 provider from the auth0 React. Okay, so next I am going to paste that in the index.js. So for that, so you can see that auth0 has been imported from the auth0 React. So next that we need to do is we have to wrap that app component into this auth0 provider component of the auth0 React. So auth0 provider, I'm going to wrap this app component here just like this way. Okay, so we have wrapped the app component into the app auth0 provider. So next what we have to do is we have to give domain client ID and authorization params into this auth0 provider as like this way. So we have to give our own domain client ID here. So for that, you can see that when we goes to our project here, you can see that when we move below the name, you can see that there is domain and client ID. So first of all, I'm going to copy this domain from this project, and I'm going to copy it in the domain section. Sorry, paste it in the domain section. Okay, next I'm going to copy the client ID from here, and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, so after that, you can see that there is an authorization params in which they are given the redirect URI as Windows location.origin. Okay, so the index.js part of this auth0 is completed. So next you can see that. So after using the auth0 provider in the index.js, when we move downward, you can see that we have to use a button for the login. Okay, as like this way. So inside that button, we have to give a login with redirect function. So as that button, I am going to use this sign up button that we have already created. And inside of the sign up button, I am going to give this login with redirect. So for that, we need to import use auth0 from the auth0 React. So in the home.js file or home component, I am going to import the use auth0 as like this way. And I'm going to use the login with the redirect as like this way. Okay, so we have used the login with redirect which, from the use author. Then Next, what we have to do is I'm going to give it in the on click of as like this way. Okay, so now the login part is completed. So next, we can use another thing from this use author, that is authenticated. That means to check whether a user is logged in or not. So I'm going to console uh, this is authenticated. So at that time you can see that. So I'm going to take the console in the browser. Then now you can see that it is false. That means here you can see that this is authenticated. As of now, it is false. That means the user is not logged in. So whenever the user logged in, it will change it to true. Okay. So so when we click on the sign up button, that the a pop-up will be arrived and this is authenticated will be converted to the uh, true. So at that time, the user is logged in. So at that time, I am going to do is I am going to change this button. Okay, so here you can see that we have given only only a button. So next I am going to install React Router DOM. Okay, as like this way you can see that now the React Router DOM will be installed into our React.js project. Okay, so now you can see that in the package.json there is React Router DOM. Okay, now what I am going to do is I am going to import the link from React router DOM. Okay, it's like this way, and I am going to use that link here. Okay, and I am giving the name of the link as click here. Okay, and I am giving to as weather. So we have to give that URL in the app.js file. So as of now, I am giving the URL in the link, and I'm giving a style that is uh, text decoration to none. Next, I am going to use the browser router, that is import browser router as like this way from the React router DOM, and I am going to wrap this app component by using the browser router. Okay, as like this way. So now you can see that I have given the app inside this browser router. Next, I am going to the app.js and I am going to import the uh, routes and router, so routes and route as like this way from React router DOM. So now next I'm going to do is I'm going to route. I'm going to give routes for each component. So first of all, I'm going to give the URL for the home component. So inside this element, I'm going to give such as home. Okay. Next route, I'm giving as weather. That means weather, and I'm going to create a new component that is weather. So in the component, I'm going to create a new file that is weather.js as like this way. And you can see that in the app.js, I'm going to import that component. Okay. So now you can see that there is weather component here. Okay. So next, we have already created two buttons, that is sign up button and click here button. So we have to give that uh, that is conditionally. Okay. So here I am going to change the style of this click here button. So for that, in the home component, I'm going to give that is a padding of 20 px, and I'm giving the background color. So for background color, I'm going to pick the color from HTML color codes. So here you can see that I'm going to pick an blue color as like this way. So I'm copying that color and to paste it here. So now you can see that there is some changes. Okay, it is very big. So I'm going to give padding as 10 px. Okay, it is fine. Now I'm going to give a border radius. So border radius as 5 px. So yeah, it is fine. And also color to white. Okay. So now you can see that it is much better than before. Okay, then next I'm going to give it in conditionally. So whenever the user is logged in, that means is authenticated is true, then we have to show that uh, this link or click here button. So for that I'm going to give as is authenticated is true. Then we have to show that. Otherwise we have to show this sign up button. That means when the is authenticated is false, we have to show the sign up button. So you can see now as of now it is not authenticated. So there is showing sign up button. Next, I am going to this auth 0 our app weather app. You can see that we are in the settings portion of our app. So next I am going to click on the connections. Here I am going to deselect the username password authentication, and I am only giving the Google authentication and the GitHub authentication. So now I am going to click on the sign up button. At that time, you can see that a pop-up will be arrived as like this way. So this is to give access to your profile and email. So I am going to click on the accept button. So when I click on the accept button, you can see that it is changed to click here. So we have already given a condition that if whenever the is authentication is true. So in this console, you can see that as of now, this is authenticated is true. So the user is logged in. So when the user logged in, this button is changed to click here. So now the user can click this button and move it to the weather component. So in the weather component, we are going to create a text field input and a button, and also we are listing the weather by using the API. So in the weather component, I'm going first of all I'm going to use this text field. Okay, yes, like this way. We have imported the text field from material UI. So you can see that there are a lot of text fields. When we look the sidebar, you can see that there is option for text fields. There are variety of text fields as like this way. Okay, so uh, this is each text field have each variant. That means this is outlined variant. This is filled and this is standard. So here you can see that when we gives the variant, we can change the type of the text field. So I am selecting the outlined variant. So I am giving as variant equal to outlined. Okay. Also, I am giving the size of this text field as small. Okay, so now you can see that there is a text field with the size small. The next, I am going to give the label. Okay, so label I am giving as location. So our need is to type a particular location here and to search for that the weather details of that location. Okay, so next I am going to give the use a button from material UI itself. So I am giving the name of the button as search, and I am giving variant as contained, and next I am giving the size of this button as medium. Okay, so I'm going to import that button from the material UI. Okay, so now you can see that there is a button and sorry, button from material UI. Okay, not this button. I'm going to import from material UI. Okay, so now you can see that there is a button. Okay, and I'm going to put this input and button at the center of the screen. So for that, I'm going to put this in the div, in a new div, as like this way. Okay, and I'm going to put that in the center of the screen. So giving style as like this way, and style as position fixed, and left 30 percentage, and top as 30 percentage. Okay, so now you can see that this. Okay, so I'm giving left as a 40 percentage. Okay, now it is fine. It is in the center. So I'm just giving a margin left to this button. So I'm giving that in the SX component, SX uh, tag as ML, that is 15px. So now it will be fine. Okay, here is the gap. So here we have created an input button, input field in the weather component, and also a button for searching. And next I'm going to create a logout button. So I'm giving as logout here. Okay, so in this logout I am giving the variant as contained. Okay, then next I'm giving the size, that is small. So now you can see that there is a logout button, and also I am giving a padding here, a style padding 20px. So now you can see that this logout button is there. There is the input and a search button. Okay, no. So next I am going to give is the logout functionality. So for that, in our auth0 section, you can see that this we have already done, that is login section. So I'm going to move downward. Then you can see that here is the logout section. So we have to use the logout function from the use auth as like that of before. We have used the login functionality. So for that, I am going to import the use auth0. Okay, then I'm going to use the function that is logout as like this way, which is equal to. Okay, so we have used this logout functionality. I'm giving this logout functionality into the on click of the button. So I'm going to copy this completely and to give it in the logout button. So now you can see that this is a logout button, and I have given the logout functionality also. Okay, now logout is also working. So when I'm clicking the logout button, you can see that we will be redirected to the localhost 3000. That is, we have already given the logout URL as localhost 3000 in our auth0 application. Okay, so that's why we have redirected to this page where the user is not authenticated. That's why this button is sign up button now, as of now. Okay, so when I click on the sign up button, you can see that the pop-up will be shown. So I'm going to click on the continue with the Google. Then we can see that here is the click here button. So when I click, when now we are authenticated or the user is logged in. So when we click on click here, it will be redirected to this weather component. So here you can see that there is an input and a search. So we have to next I am going to use the Open Weather API for taking the details of a particular weather details of a particular location. So for that I am going to the Open Weather API. Open weather map website. So here I'm going to click on the first link. Okay, I have already taken an account by using my Google authentication. So next you can see that in the navbar itself there is an API section. So I am going to click on that API button. Then we will be redirected to this page where you can see that there are a lot of APIs are available. So I am going to click on this 5-day per 3-hour forecast. So here you can see that there is an API doc and subscribe. I am going to click on this API doc. So next we will be redirected to this section of this 5-day 3-hour forecast data API. So next when I am moving downwards, so you can see that there is lots of API, different type of this API. That means we can give the we can give the city name or an API key, or we can give the city name, country code, and API key. We can give a city name, state code, country code, and API key. Like that, different APIs are available. So I'm going to select the API in which I can give the city name and the API key. So here you can see that this is the API that I'm going to select, that is which have a city name and API key. You have to select the API very carefully. You can see that here it is weather. So I'm going to select that weather. Here you can see also forecast also. So I'm going to select this API key with API URL with this weather here, and also in which we can give the city name and API key. Okay, so I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to give that in the fetch. So for that I'm going to create or define a new function, that is get weather, which is equal to I'm giving the URL, that is https colon double slash and that URL here. So I am going to change this colon uh, quotes as like this way, and I'm giving the location as, so we have to give the location. So for that I will create a state, that is location. Okay, and also we have to give the API key here. So first of all, I am going to define a state, that is location. Okay, so I'm going to give this location. I have given this location here. Next, we need to give the API key here. So for that, you can see that in the Open Weather API, there is. So here you can see that there is a section here in which it contains profile, etc. So here you can see that there is a My API key section. So I'm going to click on that My API keys. Okay, so I'm going to sign in again. Okay, so now you can see that there is a lots of API keys that there is API keys I have already selected or how I have already created. So you can create a generate API keys by giving any name as like this way, weather app or weather API. Okay, and you can generate the API as like this way by clicking the create generate. At that time you can see that API key was generated successfully. So now this is the API key that you created now. So I am going to copy that API key and paste it here. So for that I am going to define an API key as like this way, and I'm giving that here. So I can now use this API key variable and put it in the inside this section. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm using that response. We will get a response, and I will convert that response to JSON format by using JSON function. Then next, first of all, I'm going to show you it in the console. So console.log that response. That means here I'm giving as JSON. Okay, so you can see that I'm going to call this function inside that button. Okay, at the on click of that button. Here I am giving that is on click. Okay, so I have given the get weather function in this on click of that button. So now you can see that uh, I'm going to click on the search button. Okay, at that time you can see in the console as, so I'm removing the uh, remove this console. Okay, and also next one thing that we have to do is we have to give the location in the text field, in the on change of the text field as like this way. So set location as e dot target dot value. Okay, so here you can see that we have given that location here in the text field. So I am going to give the location here, and I am going to click on the search button. So at that time you can see that in the console, so it is showing this invalid API. So we can look it in the network. So this is our so I think it is fine. We have given the correct things like HTTPS API open weather map of all the weather London API ID. Maybe this API will not be activated. So I am just selecting another API, that is API from here. It will take a little bit of time to activate that API. So I am selecting the API that I have created before, and I am going to now I am going to click on the search button again. So at that time you can see that it is fine. I think, yeah, here is the details of the weather of that particular of the location London. So here you can see that there is base station clouds, uh, name of the name of that location. Then in the main section you can see that there is humidity, pressure, temperature, and also here when we move downward you can see that there is a weather section. There is sorry, wind section, where there is speed of the wind is given. So I'm going to use this humidity, pressure, and temperature and that wind speed to shown here. Okay, so for that I'm going to create or define uh, state for each details. That means for temperature, humidity, wind speed, as like that way, as like this way. You can see that. Next, I'm going to define humidity. Set humidity is equal to use state. Then next, wind speed. So wind, set wind, use state, and next that is temperature, humidity, wind, and then next we have to give the pressure. Okay, as set pressure is equal to use state as like this way. So we have created defined for a state, and I'm going to give the details to each state. So here you can see that uh, when I we can select the humidity from JSON dot main dot humidity. Okay, so I'm giving that humidity to this set humidity as JSON dot main dot humidity. Okay, so like that we can give each of the items, each of the details. Okay, that means one is pressure. That is here we can change it to pressure. The next is temperature. So as temp, we can give here as temperature. So I'm going to look at one more temp. It's given temp only. So okay. Then next here I'm giving the wind as like this way, and we can give it as JSON dot wind dot speed. Okay. So wind dot speed. So we have given the each details into each of the state here as like this way. So next we can use that here. So here when I go to this below of the button, you can see that I'm going to create another div. Inside of the div, I'm going to create h2 tag, and I'm giving as humidity. I'm just copying and paste it here. Okay, so here humidity, here temperature, here wind, and here pressure. Okay, so now you can see that pressure is not defined. Sorry, pressure as like this way. Okay, now you can see that Los Angeles, and I'm clicking search button. You can see that yeah, it is showing the each details. That means here we need to show the four details. Uh, Here I am giving it as humidity, temperature, temperature, wind, pressure. Okay, so now when I click search button again, pressure is not showing. So what is happened? JSON dot wind dot okay, set the pressure. JSON dot main dot press. So here when I give the console dot log, okay. So I'm clicking search again. At that time you can see. So I'm going to click the search button again. So at that time you can see that Los Angeles. Yeah, here is it. And in the main there is pressure. Okay, pressure can be given completely. So okay, the pressure has given here. So it is successful. So now I am giving some condition. That means if human humidity is there, then show humidity, otherwise to show as 0. Okay, so we have to give the humidity is now 85. Humidity is in percentage, so we have to give a percentage sign here. Okay, next temperature. Temperature. If the temperature is there, we have to show the temperature, otherwise 0. And we have to give the symbol as like degree Celsius. So I'm going to give the degree Celsius symbol as like this way. Here you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to paste it here. And next we have to give the wind as kilometer per hour. Okay, so if wind is there, show wind, otherwise 0. Then next pressure. Pressure is showing as HPA. Okay, then we have to convert this temperature into degrees Celsius. So for that, you can see that it is now showing it in Kelvin. Okay, so we need to convert it to degrees Celsius. So for that, I'm going to do is that is temperature minus 273.15. Okay, so now you can see that it is in temperature, but we have to convert it into math dot round. Okay, now it is fine. I'm giving as Mumbai. Okay, so I think it is clear. Uh, so I'm just giving any style here to make it more better visually. So border radius 10 px and the shadow box shadow 1 px, 2 px, 5 px, uh, 0 and 5 px gray as like this way. So and also so now you can see that there is a little change. Then I am giving as padding as like this way. So 15 px padding, and you can see that okay, now that I am giving a margin top as like this way. So margin top as 220 px. So you can see that, and I'm changing the box shadow a little bit appealing. Okay, so now here 5 px. Okay, now it is better, and I'm giving the color to background color to uh, black and color to white. Okay, so now you can see that yeah, this is our weather uh, component. So I'm click on logout button again. So now you can see that first of all there will be a sign up button. Now the user is not logged in, so I am going to click on sign up button. Now you can see that a pop-up will be arrived. I am going to click on the continue with Google, and we can see that that sign up button will be converted to a click here button. Okay, so next I am going to click on the click here button. At that time you can see that we will be redirected to this section of the of where we have to search the weather. So here you can see that I am going to search weather details of particular location, and I'm going to click on the search button. At that time you can see that the details of the weather of that particular location. So this is a project. So I think it is very clear. If this video is helpful to you, please consider subscribing to your channel, like the video, and comment your feedback. Thank you.